What's up, guys? It's Carlos Cal here again. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update on what's been going on with the truck since the last video. I think the last video we just went over the Prinsu rack and the KC Flex 40. I had a small problem with the KC Flex 40, the light bar. I was starting to get condensation in a couple of the light housings inside behind the glass. So I contacted them, and you know, they obviously they made it right. You know, I don't know what the problem exactly was. I think it might have been just some loose bolts in the back. They sent me out a new light bar, so I returned the old one. When I got the new light bar, I made sure that this wasn't going to happen again. So what I did was I went through every single bolt in the back. I went through every single one of these and I tightened them all. There were some that were loose. There were some that was snugged up. I gave them a really firm, snug hand tightening. You know what I mean? I didn't go crazy. I didn't torque them down with any leverage. I just used a T-handle, a hex tool, and just you know, just really snug them up good. You know, as you know, as far as I could with my hand. You know, without any assistance of leverage, because you know, I don't know if you know, torquing them down too much might warp something or a gasket or something like that. You know, so I just hand tightened them all really good. These right here I really torqued down though, because these are the ones that join the pieces. Okay, so these link brackets here, you got to tighten them down really good. If not, you're gonna have flex. Obviously, hence the name, right? The Flex 40. You're gonna have flex in the light bar. It's gonna bend down, or you know, it'll move. You put it on a flat surface. Make sure it's flat, and then you torque these down really good. Make sure there's no movement. You do that on the front too. Right here. It's got a couple of these at the joints. Torque them down really good, and there'll be no movement. But anyways, that's not what the update is about. The update is about the ARB touring awning here. So I got the 2000 millimeter one, which is, I think it's just over 6 feet, a little bit over 6 feet, and came out really good. I like it. I like the install. I like how it looks. No crazy wind noise, you know, no whistling, nothing crazy. You know, the wind noise that I get from the light bar in the rack pretty much hasn't changed, you know, with the addition of the awning. I haven't noticed anything crazy, so runs good. I get the Prinsu brackets are what I used. The awning brackets, that's what I used to mount this to the rack. I'm not sure if you can see it with the light. The light's kind of not working with me here. But so Prinsu sells them in pairs. I didn't feel comfortable with just 2 brackets, so I bought 2 pairs. All right, so there's 4 brackets on here. They're solid. They're solid brackets. Don't get me wrong. But what didn't make me feel comfortable, what made me feel uncomfortable, was the bolts. The bolts that the awning comes with they're just, you know, they're thin. They're 6 millimeter bolts. They're thinner and smaller than the 1/4 inch carriage bolts that Prinsu uses to mount the bracket to the rack. So I just, you know, I didn't feel comfortable. I was like, these are thin bolts. I'll just buy 2 sets, 4 brackets, mount this thing up at 4 different points, you know, and it just it makes me feel more comfortable now. If it was the smaller awning, like the I think it's the 4-footer, you know, you'd be all right with 2 brackets. But this thing is, you know, it's over 6 feet. It's heavy, and you know, with the wind that we get up here in New England, you know, we get some pretty strong gusty days, And you know, I just wouldn't feel comfortable driving on the highway with this thing just mounted with two brackets. I mean, you know what, let me rephrase that. The 2 brackets are solid. If I had some solid bolts that I could use, then I would feel more comfortable. But the bolts that ARB provides are 6mm. Like I said, they're really thin, and they're really the only size head that fits in the track. See, this track right here only accepts 6mm bolts. All right, so you can't put anything bigger in there. So you're stuck. You're stuck with those size bolts, and it's only 2 points. 2 points per bracket, thin bolts. They're so thin that, you know, I had to get bigger washers to hold it to the bracket. So I had to get, you know, some bigger washers, and on some of them I doubled up on the washers because it you know, the hole in the bracket is probably almost the same size as the locking nut that I was using for those 6mm bolts. You know, so you need to use a washer. If not, it'll just come right through the hole. But it's solid. It's on there now, really good, and I feel comfortable with it. And it looks good. I've extended it a couple times. It provides decent coverage. I really don't see, you know, I mean, the 4-foot awning has its purpose, but you know, you're going to be wishing you had a little bit more shade, a little bit more protection from the rain or the sun, and I didn't, you know, it's really not that much more money, so I went with the 6-foot. Looks good though, you know. And another addition that I did to the rack was this Pelican case. I hooked up this Pelican case to it. I bolted it at three points, 2 points per bar actually. Okay, so I did here, here, and here. All right, so I did 2 bolts, 1/4-inch carriage bolts. I ran them on the crossbar for the rack, and I drilled 2 holes, 2, you know, same size holes, 1/4-inch into the case, and torqued them down with the locking nuts, the nylon locking nuts. So if I open this here for you, all right, just bear with me here for a second. So this is it here. Now, to hold the thing open here, you just use a little bungee cord. I just slide the bungee cord in the hole here, one up top, and it keeps the Pelican case open at a pretty good angle. No issues, no problems. So let me move the cushion here so you can see, and these are the bolts. So the bolts are pretty long. I got them an inch long. I got them too long. So what I did was I put the washer in the nut, and I just cut them. Just cut the bolts down to where the nut is. I haven't had any issues with rain or water coming in through these holes. I mean, I guess you could put some RTV silicone in there, on there when you install them to secure them, but I just torqued them down good, and I haven't had any issues with any water coming in or seeping in. No moisture, nothing. Nice and dry. And we've had some pretty good rainstorms up here. I've had this up on here for about a month now. I mean, probably like 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks. So, but that's it. That's the updates. Nothing major. I'll update as soon as I get next upgrade is going to be the cap. I'm gonna put a cap on here, and I'll definitely put a video up when I get that thing. I'm gonna get the Lear XR100. It's gonna look really nice. That's it. All right, guys. See you later.